Hello, it's Frank, that one web guy, and I'm back with another video. In this video, I want to show you a trick about, or I think it's more of a strategy, something, a conversion strategy with your website regarding images. Now, a lot of people don't think about this, but our eye looks at a certain thing, or our eye looks at a certain way. We're looking at a website and we're watching the video or watching an image, and our eye follows the contrast or follows the object in the image. And sometimes it leads us somewhere else. And that's what I'm going to talk about for you today. I've been working on this site here. It's a site that I've had for a while, and I'm updating it, and I've not messed with it for a bit. And I pulled it into a new theme, and I started moving the pages around. And as I got looking, I'm like, well, this isn't normally how I would do things. As I'm going through here, of course, this doesn't look bad. This is a new hero image and type of thing that I'm using. And I scroll down, this image isn't bad. Although I'm not real fond of the white text on a dark background. That's just how it is. I'm going to fiddle around with that just a little bit as well. But as I got going through here, I've got 3 images on the page already. And you'll notice that I have the text to the left, and then this here is creating an arrow that points my eye or takes my eye to see what these people are doing. And next thing you know, I'm off over here. And I'm, mentally I'm doing that, not physically, but, our eye does that. It kind of follows the flow. And then if I look here, I'm on the same thing. I've got text to the right. It says contact us, and the pen is pointing this way, and it's kind of pointing to these icons, and the icons are, you just kind of trail off. And here again, if I'm smart about my marketing, I want to have any visualization pointing to the text, so your eye will just kind of I'm doing this in what's called a Z pattern, so they'll come down here and they'll kind of get interested in what I'm talking about here, and they'll come down, and the text should usually start on the left, then right, and then left, which I've done backwards. I've got the image on the left, the image on the right, image on the left, image on the right, and then I may have a couple more of those, and then a offer here, or something here about hire my services or something of that sort. So what I should do, even on this video, it says content. They're talking about content management system, CMS, and I've got the arrow pointing right off to the right. So what I'll need to do is go back in and move these images so that this image is on the right of the text. This image is on to the left, so it'll be pointing to the text, and this image will be on the left, pointing to the right to the text. This one here doesn't really matter where it's at, and it'll flow either way. So that's just a quick thing to think about as you're laying out your text or laying out your images or selecting images for your website. And since we're talking about selecting images, I want to throw in a bonus tip for you here. One thing that I see is a lot of people using images that are way too large. Now, if you're going to be using something for like a background image like I have here, I'm using the image in the front and in the back, you'll want to keep it to a particular size. And a lot of times your newer themes will allow you to do this drop color over the top of it. It's not that I've taken this image into Photoshop or some photo editor and put a blue background over it. The theme allows me to put a cover color over the image. So you can actually see here, if I look at the open image in a new tab, it's going to tell me that the image is 1200 by 800 because that's the size I wanted it for the width of this. They normally recommend, if you're going to be adding images full width, you want to make it about 1200 by 800. Now I did not do it for this image, so let me see what I did for this. If I open image in a new tab, that's 1200 by 800 as well. Open image in a new tab, 600 by 400, because I was just planning on using it in that fashion. This one here is probably larger, but I'm not positive. It's 1200 by 800 as well. So you can see that when you get an image, they may not always be that size. So you're loading it up, and you're loading an image that's larger than you need. So one thing that I want to show you real quick, and I won't take much of your time here on this, just that extra bonus, is that when we go to get an image, and I've used this for many options here, is unsplash.com. We find an image. Let's find an image here that's computer on desktop. Let's try to do that, because sometimes we use that, in a blog post or for an image or something like that. So we'll just find an image that is similar to what we're wanting. I like to use the vertical or horizontal ones here. Of course, you could crop the other ones, but it's a little more difficult. I'm just going to go ahead and I'll just grab one here. Frank, you're going to make it take longer. Let's try desktop computer. Maybe I'll get something closer to what I'm looking for. Sometimes it just matters how you word it. So there's several of them here. Just pick one. Okay, let's go with this one here. So I'm going to grab this one here, and it's a little bit larger than what we're going to need. So I'm going to open up a free service. Now, if you have Photoshop, that's good. And I'll be doing some Photoshop training here in the new feature in the near future. But there's a service called Photopea.com. It's kind of like using Photoshop online. And it's free, totally free. So what we can do is we can open up, they give us an option to open it up if it's from our computer, open up from URL, or just create new. What we're going to do is open from URL. Now you can, as I said, you can use this image as long as you note the author here. So a lot of times in the comment of the image, when I go to post it online, I will add that either in the alt text or in the comment or content for that image. So if somebody wanted to check to see who the image was from. But in this case, I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy image address. So I'm going to go back to Photopea. I'm going to open from URL, paste this right in here, and click OK, and it's going to open up this image. Now the first thing we want to do is, well, let's see how big the image is. Image size, and I could have done that from the service. So this one's 1490 by 838. So it's a little bit larger than what we want. So we can actually come in here and say that I want it to be 1200. And I didn't keep that there. Yeah, if I click on this next one, it keeps that ratio the same. Some of them will automatically change it. This one did not. So I click OK. It resizes the image, and then now I can save it as a PSD or export it as a PNG, JPEG, or whatever you so choose. So I'm just going to click on PNG. I'm going to click on Save. I'm saving it for the web, which is 72 dpi, and it's going to download it to my computer wherever I asked it to. Let's go ahead and put it in Pictures, and I can call it desktop computer or something like that. And I could even, if I wanted to, put in the author's name right into the image so that he gets tagged as well. I'm just going to put .png at this moment and save it that way, and then I can upload it and use it on my computer. Now, if the file size is still large, I mean the size, width, and height is what we want, you can also, I have a video in my channel already to reduce the size of the file, how many megabytes that file is. So you might want to check that video out as well. So I hope you found these tips useful on working with images on your website. I'll be back with another video soon. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel, click the like button for this video, and I'll talk with you again soon.